Well, hello. You're watching Much Ado About Something today, and I'm Donna. Well, it is a hot, sweltering day out here today. It's in the high 90s degrees Fahrenheit, and it's also about, the heat index is about 116 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's very, very hot out here today. I got up early and I got to come out before the sun got up too hot, and I was able to get about a wheelbarrow full of weeds out of the garden. But of course, then it became too hot. And I had to water some areas this morning. I mean, when it gets this hot out here, you want to make sure that your plants, whatever you have enough water. So sometimes I'm watering as much as 2 times a day. I don't want to give them too much water because, you know, water and heat can cause a lot of problems for your garden. It can cause mildew and it, you know, it can cause a lot of problems, and your garden will be struggling. But lack of water will certainly cause struggling too, and it will kill things if the heat hits and there's just not enough water to sustain the plants. So I try to water them about twice a day. I check them in the morning and I check them in the evening, and I want to make sure that they have plenty of water and that they're able to survive this heat. Donald and I ran to Lowe's for a little bit just to get a few things. I had a gift card and I wanted to pick up some things today, and so I was able to do that, and I'll share with you what I got today. Now the heat has just fried these plants. I've kept them watered and I've tried to keep them alive, but this intense sun, full sun, has just took a toll on them. This is a little blanket flower and they love full sun. But that's the only one that hung in there. The rest of them dried up. Because these were so dry and they just dried up out here, even though, you know, I did add those water crystals that help retain water, I'm just going to change these out. And I bought some of these at Lowe's called Cooper's Ice Plant. And I bought one for each one of these, and I'm hoping it'll be enough to fill up this little basket. But I thought they would be prettier and brighter and look much better than what I have going on here right now. I also bought these Rebecchias. I could not resist them. To me, they were so beautiful. The bright yellow. Here's one that's broken. But I just thought these were so incredibly beautiful that I had to get one of them and add them to the garden. Now, these were not that expensive. They were $7.48, but this is a pretty big perennial. And I love the perennials. I have some of these that I foraged and dug up in the wild and I put in my garden, but they won't be blooming until closer to fall. Now Donald picked this up, and it's a zinnia. It was $7.98, but because of this dead part here, he got it for $4. And he said he just had to pick that up too, that it was just too pretty to leave there on that distressed card. So we'll add that to the garden today too. Now here these are. Here are my little dried up baskets that I planted in the spring, and they've just dried up on me right here. Now I'm going to try to save this little Rebecchia that did live, it did survive, so I'm going to be planting that in something else and saving it today. It made it through all the stress that it had to live through to come up to this point. So I want to be sure and keep it. And Rebecchia is a perennial, so it'll come back. if I can get this little thing to grow, it'll certainly be worth it. So I just repotted it here in this little pot of dirt that I had on hand, and I'm like sure I'll water that good before I leave it today. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump the soil out of this. Let me pull up this stuff here to go in the compost pile. And I'm going to dump the soil out of these baskets and just start fresh. I, of course, am not going to waste this soil. I'm going to put it somewhere where it can be used. I'll untangle these hangers here in a little bit. Now I'm just going to put some more stuff in here. I'll add some more of my compost mix that I use for potted plants. Now I know that these plants right here, these, they call them copper's ice plant, Adelosperma cooperi. So I'm thinking this thing will do well here. It gets 6 hours plus of direct full sun, so it can certainly take the full sun. So I'm hoping they'll do well in these two baskets and that they'll be pretty hanging out there. I mean, who wants a bunch of dried up flowers that are not pretty out there in their hanging baskets? Now I'm going to work a little bit of this water storing crystals that I like to use. I feel like it helps these plants hold the water they need. I have used diapers. You know, I have grandchildren that are using diapers. Well, there's just one left that's using diapers. But I have put a diaper in the bottom of my plants because that'll help retain moisture. But today I have those water storing crystals, so I'm just going to go ahead and add those. I tell you, at Lowe's, they were struggling to water those plants. They had carts and carts of plants they called distressed plants, and they have them marked way down. And I guess they just can't get out there to water them enough. They need to water them at least twice a day. But I don't know the watering schedule. But there was a lot of plants there that looked like they did not have enough water there at Lowe's. Right now is a rough time to be planting stuff out here in full sun. When it's this hot, when you have this much heat, it just takes a toll on everything that has to survive in it. When I get too much, I can take a break and go in there and sit in the air conditioning. But these plants, they don't get to do that. Now you don't want to put too many of these water storing crystals in here because these things swell up. And they will lift your dirt up out of your hanging basket if you use too much of this. So you just want to follow the instructions on the back. To keep that from happening, to keep, it from absorbing so much water that it lifts up your soil out of your planter. I try to use these where I can because we're on city water. We have to water our plants with chlorinated city water. We do catch some rainwater, but it's not enough. What we catch is not enough to keep everything hydrated. So we do use our city water sometimes to water our plants. So these water storing crystals help our water go further. It stores the water in there and keeps it from just running out onto the ground after we've watered. Ellie's going to help me today. She's going to hold the camera while I hang this thing up.
Yeah.
Well, we got one up. Let's go over here and get the other one.
Yeah.
Right here, babe. Now we've got to get some water on those, and they already look better than what was there. While I'm out here, I wanted to take a minute and show you the passion flowers while they were opened up. I know a lot of times I get out here and I'll show you the garden and it's morning and things haven't quite opened up yet. And I don't think you may know why I love this passion flower unless you would just see this thing fully opened up. To me, it's so pretty. It's sweltering out here today. Sweltering heat. That passion flower looks almost tropical. Just pretty. And they're all, wherever you see the vine that has some of those passion flowers, there's a lot of pollinators out here today. We have got to get out here and splash a little more water this afternoon. So Ellie and I are going to water these plants that we just put in. So Ellie is watering the hanging baskets, the little plants that we just planted. She's going to make sure they have plenty of water. She's going to saturate those really good. The middle garden's looking really pretty. It's really full. It is just sweltering hot out here in this heat. So we're going to finish up, wrap it up around here. I'll plant a few things, but I think I'm going to plant those Rebecca and that little zinnia. I'm going to wait until it cools off a little bit this evening before I get back out here. Thank you for joining me today, and like always, until next time.